Yo. Good afternoon, Freedom Marchers. Freedom family, freedom lovers, and freedom fighters. How y'all doing on this Friday, March 8th, 2024? How are y'all doing? Tell you what, man, driving through Atlanta really sucked today, man. Really sucked. What's good? Xander in the building. How you doing? How you been, brother? Shad Killings was good. Shad, I thought you had a wrench up in here, man. 40 dog was good. It's good, 40 dog. Yeah, so it's been a while since I've been live. A lot has been going on in the world since the last time I've been live, and yet nothing new under the sun, right? Nothing new under the sun, you know. I'm gonna have to rectify that shot. You've been rolling with your boy for a minute. Joe Biden doesn't know what the hell he's doing, man. Like, he's just an old sack, right? And what did they say before he was elected? Well, they said all they needed was his corporeal form. Joe Biden, he's just rolling with what they tell him to roll with, man. He's old and decrepit. He doesn't know half of what he's talking about half the time. Well, I say 80% of the time. He doesn't know half of what he's talking about. So it's not him, right? And, you know, it's never been any president. We know that there are other actors out there pulling strings. And so, you know, whoever they put up there in front of us, they are put in place to take the brunt of whatever, whatever ire comes from the people. That's what these presidents are there for. That's what Congress and the Senate is there for, to take the attention off of who's really in power, you know. And you know, we know that that's pure Zionism, right? That's the principle of Zionism. But I'm not gonna go there, you know. But we know what's up. We know what's up. And so, when you talk about the State of Disunion address, right? So, you know, Joe Biden gave the State of Disunion address, and it of course there was a bunch of bullshit that he spewed. He spewed a bunch of bullshit about illegal immigrants. He spewed a bunch of bullshit about guns and all this, that, and the third. He spewed just a bunch of bullshit. We know it, right? Particularly with the illegal immigrant shit. What happened as soon as he got in office? The first thing he did was stop. The first thing that happened, I'm not going to say the first thing he did. The first thing that happened by design, right, was to stop building the border wall. He shut that down. And then the Remain in Mexico thing, that was put to rest. All this other shit that allowed all these people to flood into this country happened under his so-called watch. But then he wants to come out during this State of Disunion and talk about, you know, Laken Riley, right? He wants to talk about Laken Riley and how she was killed by an illegal. Oh, he was an illegal, and this, that, and the third. We have a problem with all these illegals, and we need to do something about the border, and this, that, and the third. Motherfucker, what? When I heard that, right? When I heard that, the reason I was shocked is that they really think that we're stupid. They really think we're stupid. They really think that we're not aware that all this happened because your administration allowed it to happen. They facilitated it, right? They facilitated illegal crossings into this country, right? They facilitated all the human trafficking, all the child human trafficking, and all the disaster, all the trauma that comes with that people don't know about, because guess why? It's happening to people. A lot of this trauma is happening to people that don't have a voice in this country. They're from another country, right? It's a perfect opportunity to commit these acts. It's a perfect opportunity to do the trafficking, to do, all that stuff, all the smuggling, all that shit. It's a perfect opportunity to do it because no one on this side of the border is gonna give a fuck, right? Let's be real. Most of y'all don't give a fuck about whether or not illegal immigrants and their children get, trafficked. And it's not because you don't. I'm not saying you. I'm saying just the people, United States citizens, right? They just don't have the awareness. They don't have the awareness. It is not close enough to them. And they hear these stories, and most people in this country disagree with all these people being allowed to come into this country. It's really just people like AOC and all these other people that act like they speak for everybody, right? Act like they speak for every Democrat when they say, oh, we need to allow these people to, seek refuge in our country. This is a country of immigrants and this, that, and third. It's not a country of immigrants. Let's get that out the way. But not really. It's not really a country of immigrants, right? It's a country of invaders, right? It's a country of conquerors, and it's a country of, pillagers. That's what it is. You want to say, immigrants? No. The only immigrants that came over here with no ill intent, right? As a whole, right? Everybody, you can choose a group of people or people of a culture, and you can find people in that culture or in that group that are malicious and are evil. Yeah, you're gonna find that. But as a whole, and I'm talking about the first immigrants that ever showed up here, which were after the there's a bit of controversy surrounding whether or not the black people showed up first or the Mongoloids, the Negroids and the Mongoloids, right? The oldest bones ever found it was actually in South America, right? Were Negroid skull, right? So that was the oldest. Doesn't mean that there aren't older bones out there. That's just the oldest that were found. So this predates, right, the transatlantic slave trade. It predates that. So we know, and based on much other evidence, there's plenty of evidence out there that shows that black people were here before the Europeans, right? So, and there's no evidence that they came over here to slaughter, to take over, to conquer, to do this, to do that. They actually coexisted with, the Mongoloid people, right? What you would call what most people would think of as indigenous people of this country, the Native Americans, right? I just got a stupid ass phone call came through. Let me know if y'all can still hear me. But regardless, right? This is not a land of immigrants. It has not been in quite a long time. And the reason that is because the society that makes up this country now derived from conquerors, derived from pillagers, derived from people who had deceitful intent and evil intent to take over and do all this, that, and the third, right? So let's get that out the way. We're not a country of immigrants, right? Not just a country of immigrants, So to say that, well, we're a country of immigrants, so therefore we should allow all these people to come over in here and just completely throw everything into disarray. We're already in enough disarray. There's already enough bullshit going on without all these people, billions, hundreds of millions of people, or however many, that came over the last few years, that came into this country, right? I mean, we have enough going on before all that. Now, what do you have, right? You have incidents like what happened with Lake and Riley, right? She was beaten to death by an illegal immigrant that was caught in New York, right? He was arrested in New York for endangering a child and then released. He made his way down to Athens, Georgia, which I'm working in Georgia right now, right? And I didn't know Athens, Georgia was a sanctuary city. But you know, you'll have the mayor come out, oh, we're not a sanctuary city. That's just not the term that you should use, blah, blah, blah. Right? Politicians are bullshit. They're all full of shit. They all are full of shit. Especially Joe Biden. With just all the bullshit he spewed last night. All the bullshit. Just complete and utter bullshit all over the place. And it's just asinine, right? and you know, you gotta love the theatrics. You gotta tip your hat at the theatrics of just this whole political process we have in this country. He's given the State of the Union, and you know, when he says something that is considered, or one an idiot might consider profound, his Democratic cohorts just loudly and vehemently applaud, and then you see the other half, the Republicans, they're just sitting there like with blank stares. Like, come on, man, cut the bullshit. This is all political theater, right? It's supposed to give you the impression that, well, oh, the Republican Party, they're on the side of the American and all this other shit. Come on, miss me with the bullshit. Miss me with the bullshit. This political theater is just, you know, you can't pay for a better movie, right? You can't pay for a better movie. No one plays their part better than a politician in their little kabuki theater. No one plays their part better. No actor, no Denzel Washington, no Halle Berry, right? No Kate Beckinsale or Kate Winslet. These motherfuckers cannot play their part as well as these politicians who act like they represent somebody, when all they represent are special interests, corporations, the elite class, the bankers. That's who they represent. That's who they represent. They don't represent you. They don't represent me. They don't give a fuck about you or me. Right? They don't. They pretend to. And sometimes they may make decisions that, well, it benefits the people. So sometimes, right? They might, that's just a happy accident. It's just a happy accident. Right? And so, when you have, with that in mind, this motherfucker, man, there's a fucking pig hiding behind trees. Like, woo, child. Like, this is ridiculous. Anyway, man. And listen, man, like, and then you got California, they're giving illegal immigrants access to health care. They want to give these people the right to vote. And look, it's always about our right to vote being attacked. Oh, they're coming for our right to vote. All this, that, that. These motherfuckers don't fight as hard for actual rights as they do for the fake right to vote. Right? You have the right to vote, but you don't have the right for your vote to count towards affecting somebody else's life. You don't have that right. Right? Unless that person willingly participates and willingly acquiesces to the outcome. Other than that, because they're voting too, and so it's a gamble. You're choosing to gamble with control over your life by another motherfucker. Right? That's what you're doing when you're voting. But what about the motherfuckers that don't vote? What about the motherfuckers that don't care about a vote? You don't have the right for your vote to count against someone else. You understand what I'm saying? Does that make actual sense? Because you just don't. Bottom line to it. Because this is what you get. You get, and you get these people that think that they can actually assert control over you with impunity. It's just like, okay, well, what really gives you that right? It's not a right that you actually have. But what makes you think that it's a right that you have? Right? What makes you think that, okay, yeah, I do have the right to tell you what to do and how to live because more than 50% of somebody voted for it. Like, come on. More than 50% of a population voted for me to control you. So therefore, I have the right to control. No. That's not how this works, right? It's all about your right to vote being attacked by a certain group of people, right? It's all about that. Oh, whoa, voter ID. Oh, that's too much. That's too much. Voter ID. That's too. Oh, you don't have the right. ID. Well, you shouldn't need identification for a right. Whatever bullshit that they tell you, right? But they don't fight that hard for actual rights, like the right to free speech, the right to have a regress of grievances if you need it, the right to keep and bear arms. They don't fight for those rights like they do for the right to vote. And there's nothing about even the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. There's nothing in the Bill of Rights that says you have the right to vote. You understand what I'm saying? There's nothing in there that says that. But that's the only one they care about. Why? Because they want you to think that they want anybody that would vote for them to be able to vote, like these illegal immigrants that left flooding in this country. Oh, that's the big story, right? Oh, well, they're going to give these people amnesty, and they're going to give them the right to vote, and this, that, and third. You see what I'm saying? They're building a straw man for you to attack. They're building a straw man for you to attack. That straw man are the people, is this voting shit, right? Oh, you give these illegal immigrants the right to vote. Oh, well, that's going to greatly dilute your right to vote. Black people, oh, you're going to get replaced. That's the bullshit that the Clown Shoe Lucas says, right? The Clown Shoe Lucas will tell you, oh, they're going to dilute your vote. They're going to replace you. They're not going to give a fuck about your vote no more. They're not going to do anything for you. When have they ever done anything for black people? The Democratic Party. When have they ever done anything for black people specifically? When has the Republicans ever done anything for you? Specifically for black people? Huh? So what's it matter if our rights to vote get even further diluted? What does it matter if there's gerrymandering? What does it matter if the redistricting and all that other shit? What does it matter even when we do have a strong voting voice, the motherfuckers that we put in a position to do something for us don't fucking do it. They never did shit for you, right? They never did anything for you. Now what I'm saying might sound like the sunken cost fallacy, but it really is not. It's not the sunken cost fallacy, right? Because you had to have something to lose to begin with, right? In order for the sunken cost fallacy to be a thing, you have to have lost something already. Like when we did gain the right to vote, right? Back in the 1900s, right? Or back in the 1800s, the 19th century. Yeah, we were able, we can get the vote now. But the shit still wasn't done for you. They still didn't do shit for black people. Even with the Civil Rights Act, the Voting Rights Act, all these other different acts, right? Of 1964 and all that. That wasn't for black people. Who benefited most from the Civil Rights Act? Who benefited most from affirmative action? White women. White women benefited most from the Civil Rights Act. White women, not black people. I do just want to fight. Anyway, we never lost anything. We never had the cost sunk. We never had anything that sank from, right? I mean, does that mean some black people aren't successful? That doesn't mean that, no. It wasn't because the government or a specific political party paved the way for them to succeed, right? They had to find some boots to pull themselves up by some bootstraps, because black people were never born with a pair of boots from which to pull up bootstraps in the first place, like they like to tell you, right? Like they like to tell you, oh, pull yourself up by your bootstraps and all this, that, and the third. Well, fuck all that, right? But listen, voting, and not even just black people, right? The problem, they want you to think, right? This is what you think. The problem with all these illegal immigrants coming over is not that they're going to dilute your vote, right? That's what they want you to think. You'll lose political power. That's right. Sugar-free, sucralose-free, they're sweetened with stevia. Anyway, they want you to think that the biggest issue with these illegal immigrants coming over, or at least they wanted you to think that, but now they have to shift the narrative to make it match what actually is happening in the real world that everybody can now understand and see, is that they will take they'll dilute your right to vote, they'll dilute your political power, they'll replace you politically and all that other shit. No. That's not the biggest problem. The biggest problem with the illegal immigrants coming over here in droves, as they do, is that the level of danger that you will now face in this country, the level of danger, right? And that is tantamount. That is the biggest issue. The most urgent issue is the fact that, no, these motherfuckers, a lot of them can be dangerous. We don't know anything about these people. They weren't vetted before they came in here. They just cross over. We don't know what the fuck they got planned. We don't know who's over here. We don't know how organized they are, right? We don't know any of that. But here they are, right? They're going around killing people, stabbing people, beating up police, doing this, that, and the third in large numbers. But now the narrative is shifting to that, as you saw Joe Biden is doing with the State of Disunion address, talking about Lincoln Riley, because it can't be avoided anymore. It can't be avoided. Everybody knows. There's too much information out there about it. Okay, now we have to address the illegal immigrant problem. Not the voting bullshit, right? Not that. Not the right. No, that's not the problem. The problem is these motherfuckers are going around killing, stealing, robbing. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the biggest issue. You know what I'm saying? So the State of Disunion, right? The State of Disunion address. It's a fucking joke, right? It's a fucking joke. We're gonna call it what it is. State of Disunion. It's not State of the Union. State of Disunion, because that's what we're in. We're in a state of disunion. And that was no better demonstrated than that address when you saw the fake split. The fake split between the Democrats and the Republicans. The fake split, Well, that fake split perpetuates the real split of the people right here in this country, right? The regular everyday people that aren't in politics, that don't have a say, that don't, you know what I'm saying? Not part of the elite class. That's where the real split is. And they are perpetuating it with this fake split in Congress and Senate and all this, that, and the third. It's fake, right? It's what it is. It's a fake ass split. But they want you to think, oh, you know, yeah, we're really fighting each other behind the scenes. This is what's really going on. Yeah, we really do have these many disagreements and so many different things. Yeah, okay, Pippin. It's a distraction tactic. It's a choose a side tactic, right? The false dichotomy. It's a false dichotomy. It's a false dichotomy created to induce a real dichotomy in the real world. Because if we have this real dichotomy, if we have this real rivalry in the real world between the Republican and the Democratic constituents, they'll be so busy going at each other's throats that they can't focus on us. They can't, you know, focus their ire, focus their attention, focus their hate, focus their vengeful machinations on us. No, they're going to go after each other. And what did they throw in the mix next? What did they throw in the mix? This is another angle that no one's really talking about. What did they throw in the mix to further distract from who the real enemy is? You know, y'all know that Joe Biden committed treason, right? Yeah. He committed treason when he allowed these people to come over here. How is that? It's not sedition. People will say it's sedition. It's not sedition because if you don't know who's coming over, right, and you have so many millions of people, it's just the law of probability. The law of probability, with the law of probability as it is, if you so many millions of people, guess what? A good percentage of them will likely be enemies of this country. So Joe Biden has facilitated the invasion of this country by enemies of the country. That is treason. Bottom line to it, there's your avenue to impeachment, right? If they really wanted the system to work as it does. And how do we know that these people are enemy invaders? Well, I mean, look at the guy that killed Lincoln Riley. A case can be made for him being an enemy of this country, an enemy combatant. Why? Because he came over and killed people of this country. You know, he illegally entered the country. You know, that's what it is. What do I mean, these people? These goddamn illegal immigrant people. That's what the fuck I'm talking about. So that's just what it is, man. We have to understand that, and it's not just Joe Biden, right? All these people commit treason. Every single one of them. Why? Because they commit treason and sedition on a regular beat. So, and when you couple that knowledge with the knowledge of the fact that the Constitution says that it is consent of the governed. There has to consent of the governed, right? Consent of the governed. That is the most, to me, the most important part of the Constitution. Consent of the governed. that gives us a way to remove our consent from being governed by these motherfuckers. And the reason they put that in there is because they knew that these motherfuckers would get power hungry and start committing tyranny, and so they gave us an out. Why is no one focusing on consent of the governed? If we wanted to, we can remove our consent. Remove it as a whole, as a people. We can all do it. It wouldn't take very many of us to do it anyway, right? We could all remove our consent. But the problem with that is, the problem that's going to prevent that is that most people don't know how to not be governed. Most people wouldn't know what to do with themselves if they didn't have a government telling them how to do it. They need that authority, right? You know, and that's just what it is. Many people need that authority, and guess what? You can still have that authority if you don't feel comfortable, right? If you don't feel comfortable being self-sufficient and being sovereign, well, okay, let's break it down. Break it down into smaller little enclaves, smaller communities, and you go with the community that is going to govern over you the way you want. That's the solution. Huge body for that. No, you can break it down to smaller governments if that's what you so choose to do. I understand that many people don't want to be sovereign. They don't want to be free. They want that authority. They need it. In their mind, they need that authority. Okay. Find the motherfucker that you feel gives the best example of righteous authority and whatever, or not righteous authority. Maybe you enjoy tyranny. Okay, go find a tyrannical motherfucker. But keep that shit over there. Don't bring that shit over here. You bring that shit over here, you might get your melon split. You understand what I'm saying? So keep your little motherfucking goddamn tyrannical community over there. Leave us alone over here. It's consent of the governed, right? Consent of the governed. You know? We just have to listen. Well, how do you do that? You know? Well, you're gonna have to have treaties and agreements between different communities, and you know, hell, you can even keep the military the way it is. Just it'll be a joint effort, and the only reason you need this military is to protect the borders. Keep them at the borders. Bring all your weapons home. Bring all your troops home. You know what I'm saying? And you know, each community can have their own standing military if that's what they want. You know what I'm saying? And then you have a collaborative effort between different communities to, you know, have control over this military that will protect the borders, to prevent invasion, to prevent, to try their best to prevent war, to prevent other countries from trying to come over and take advantage of the breakup. You know what I'm saying? The breaking up of the Union. There's way it can be done, right? They want to tell you, oh, it's not going to work because this, that, and the third. Oh, it's going to be chaos and Molotov cocktails and death in the streets, a bloodbath. And it doesn't have to be like that. It really doesn't. You just have to have people with cool heads and that can exercise logic and rationality come together and really just hammer it out, right? Hammer it out. Don't leave yourself unprotected. Don't leave the country unprotected. Don't leave the borders unprotected, because the damage is done, right? The damage is done. Things were already established. You can't just reverse it. You can't just say, okay, snap of a finger, you know, all will be right with the world. No, it doesn't work like that. No, there has to be steps and processes and all that other type of shit. And yeah, but it can't be done, right? It's like what they want you to think about slavery ending, right? You know, you got these coons out there. You got the Kunis Owens, the Tatums, and all them motherfuckers, right? They want you to believe that as soon as slavery stopped, all was right with the black world in the country. Like, oh, they stopped slavery 200 over 150 years ago, so from that point, everything was good. No, doesn't work like that. But that's another story. So it can be done. And the state of this union should further cement that in people's brains that has any level of critical thinking skills and common sense, right? These people are fucking clowns. Joe Biden's full of shit. Donald Trump's full of shit. Republicans are full of shit. Democrats are full of shit. But so why do we feel like we still need them? Why do we need them? Why do we need them in the capacity that they exist in? Why do we don't? We don't. We need them like we need a second asshole. Okay? We need them like we need a second asshole. And we don't need second assholes, because if we had a second asshole, we'd have to redesign toilets. And that's a pain in the ass right there. So, fuck that. We don't need the motherfuckers. We don't need the motherfuckers. And this stays in my mind, and it stays cemented in my brain, even when my state that I live in passed permitless carry a couple days ago. I mean, the bill still has to go to Governor McMaster's desk, but he's going to sign it, and we're going to have permitless constitutional carry in the state of South Carolina. Great, perfect. Okay, cool. That's that. What do you want, a cookie? That's how it should have been. There should never have been a permit process in the first place. Okay, so great. My wife can now carry outside the house legally without getting her permit. I had my permit for like 2 years. She went to go get her permit, but it was never really that. She went and took the class and did everything to become eligible to carry, but she never finished the paperwork. She never went, got the thumbprint, did the live scan, and had it go to SLED, which is South Carolina, or whatever, SLED. That's the organization that gives you the permit. Anyway, she never finished that process. Well, she ain't got to now. Okay, cool. Boom, she can carry outside the house and all that shit. But okay. We shouldn't have had to go through all we went through to make that happen. In any state that has permitless or constitutional carry, it should never been an issue. Never. In any state. But this is what we allowed to happen because of course, the fear campaigns and you're gonna die if you're gonna this is the bullshit they spew, right? Well, guess what? Okay, even though the politicians in my state passed it, that doesn't mean that I feel any more that I feel like, okay, well maybe we need. No, I don't know. No, I still believe we don't need them. No, we don't need them. We don't need government and politicians to say that, oh, well, you're allowed to exercise this right, but you're not allowed to exercise that right because we feel this way and that way about it. Oh, because of our feelings, you shouldn't be able to exercise this right. I feel like you're going to do this or this, that, and the third. Never mind that people who don't give a shit about your laws are going to do what the fuck they want anyway. Never mind that. But this is the. It just my mind is. I can't wrap my mind around it. I can't wrap my mind around it. And that's where we're at today. That is where we're at. And this is we We just have to make some shit happen, right? We have to get out of this mode where we're just waiting for the shoe to drop. No, fuck that. I don't even care where the shoe drop at, what size it is. I don't give a fuck if it's gonna drop in a puddle, in a vat of lava. I don't give a fuck about it. Fuck that other shoe. We need to make something happen right now, right? You know, and you know, everything that they're doing, the distraction campaign is on 12, right? That distraction campaign, when they go in, they go in. So something big is going on, right? Because the distraction campaign is on tilt. One specific facet of this distraction campaign is Ryan Garcia. You know, I don't know how many of you follow boxing. Ryan Garcia is a boxer. He's about to fight Devin Haney, maybe on April 20th of this year. And out of nowhere, this dude just starts coming out of the woodwork with all these conspiracy theories about, you know, the Illuminati. He said he was dragged to the woods and forced to watch people, you know, of the elite class rape children. He said he was raped when he was 2 years old. You know, he said he's going to meet with the Pope at the Vatican, and it's just, he's seen aliens, like, and this has crossed over from boxing into just the real world, right? I mean, he's drawing a lot of attention with that. And, you know, a lot of these things that he's saying, do I believe it might be true? You know, yeah, there might be an Illuminati, and there might be, you know, there's definitely child trafficking going on, right? Sexual deviance in regards to children and with the elites. There's definitely that going on. I have no doubt in my mind. But why is Ryan Garcia coming out with this at this point in time, right? Well, a lot of people think he's using this to try to get out of the fight with Devin Haney. Others say that he might really be having a mental breakdown. Others say that he's like essentially a prophet, all this, that, and the third. This guy even said Elon Musk was the Antichrist, right? So it looks like he's taking all these conspiracy theory talking points and just tossing them out one by one, right, by rote. And it's like, okay, you're just saying shit, right? You know, well, Alex Jones, he was at Bohemian Grove and saw this, that, and the third. And so, yeah, I'm gonna use that narrative and say that I was forced to go to the Bohemian Grove in the woods and forced to watch children's booty holes get. It's just crazy. It's wild. But no one's looking at it at this angle. It's a distraction campaign. They love to distract us with wild stories and wild shit so that something else can happen under the radar. So be on the lookout, right? Be on the lookout for what might be going on behind the scenes that we don't know about, right? You know, I mean, we do have all these bills that Joe Biden has championed during the State of Disunion. You know, sometimes they like to sneak shit in and under the cover of darkness and vote at midnight. Again, all this is theater. All this is theater. All this is theater. But one major thing you got going on, and this might even be a distraction, is the National Guard in New York, right? National Guard troops being deployed in the state of New York, you know, to help control the crime that they basically initiated, right? With the Mobile and the illegal immigrants, right? They don't want to say anything about the illegal immigrants contributing to the rise in crime in New York. But you know, we know what it is, right? But National Guard, right? National Guard. It's like they're sneaking in a little bit of, they're giving us a sample of martial law to see how we react to it. That's what I think they're doing with this. They don't give a fuck about the crime in the subways. They don't give a fuck. These people don't use the subways. They don't give a shit about you in the subway. They don't give a fuck. They're not being put there to commit crime, prevent crime. They're being put there, and again, if they do prevent crime, it's going to be a happy accident. They're being put there to get you used to seeing armed troops on every corner. Everywhere you go, you see an armed troop. You think you're safe. You think there's a level of safety I feel now. Why do I need this gun? I no longer need to carry. I no longer need to own a firearm because, I got this guy on the corner with the AR-15 or with the M4 or whatever they carry. I don't need that. Oh yeah, I'm so safe now. And yeah. Oh yeah. They trying to rock your asses to sleep in New York. They're trying to rock our asses to sleep too. They watch this thing be a success. Oh yeah, in a few weeks, mark my words, they're going to talk about how dramatically the rate of crime dropped because of this. Oh well, this is something that we should just be doing. Oh, we just create a police state and bring the crime down, right? Oh, that's the agenda. Believe that to retrieve that. So be on the look. That might be what it is. That might be what Ryan Garcia is distracting us from. And guess what happens on April 20th, y'all? This is gonna sound conspiracy theory like a motherfucker. Guess what happens on April 20th in the state of New York? Something big with Ryan Garcia talking the way he's talking. Something big might be coming April 20th or prior to April 20th in New York. Ryan Garcia is fighting Devin Haney in Brooklyn, New York on April 20th at the Madison Square Garden. No, the Barclays Center. My bad. Barclays Center. Oh yeah. Troops deployed in New York. Ryan Garcia talking about Illuminati and all this other shit. He's fighting in New York, April 20th. Mark your calendars. Mark your calendars. What is going on? It could be a number of things that might go on. It might be, who knows? I'm just connecting dots here. Y'all know how I like to do. To connect dots. So, there you have it. April 20th, 2024 in New York. New York deployed, National Guardsmen, Ryan Garcia talking all this shit about the government and all this, that, and the third, and elites and this, that. Be on the lookout. Never know what might happen. It might not even be anything violent. It might just be, hey, we're going to keep the troops here until we really get this crime down. We're gonna keep them on the streets. They might even pass laws to where, it's a regular thing. Like, we don't have enough police officers on the streets, so we need to, we need to bring because National Guards people, they only work. They basically only they go to drill 1 weekend a month and 2 weeks out the year, right? They might make them active duty. Who knows? But we gotta wait and find out, y'all. We'll see what happens. Anyway, I'm gonna get on off this hill right now. It's been great talking to you guys and seeing what y'all up to. See, they ran a train on. Oh my lord! What? 40 Dog, you said, are you saying Ryan Garcia said Mighty Mouse was at the Woods? You're saying Ryan Garcia mentioned Mighty Mouse or Minor Mouse? Who is Pee Wee Herman really? That's a good question. The Pied Piper? I don't know. You know what the Pied Piper really did? Anyway, I'm gonna roll on off this, man. 40 Dog, oh, you was joking? You was silly as hell, man. Anyway, I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Y'all stay up. Like, share, subscribe if that's what you choose to do. And yeah, we're gonna keep marching forward toward freedom. Peace.